Hi there, welcome to my Chapman Stick Learning Journal. This is journal entry number 9, completion of week 8. Let's jump in again like last week with Requiem for Persephone by Greg Howard. Part I'm working on most right now, or at least that needs the most work. So here we go. Let's see how well I can get through this. Alright, so let's talk about the differences between this last week and this week. First off, last week, as Greg pointed out, I was doing it again. I was tapping my foot in the quarter notes that I was playing. So my melody hand was in lockstep with my foot, and that resulted in a song that didn't flow, really. It sounded... Yeah, it wasn't quite that bad. It was more like... And it had no soul, basically. So during the lesson, I tried tapping my foot once every 3 beats, because it's in 3/4 time. But ultimately, I found that that was taking too much of my brain power because, I don't know, my leg doesn't have a natural, like, 3-second or whatever movement rate. But I recalled, well, first of all, Greg pointed out, 3/4 time meant nothing to me. He pointed out, it's a waltz. Well, that's not a problem, I can waltz. So I opted for the human metronome option, where I swayed in time, and that worked a lot better. Let me keep time without thinking too much about it. It just sort of naturally flowed, and you know, I was able to put emphasis on, you know, certain notes. Hopefully you noticed that the transition between notes, the legato was, or there was more legato than there had been previously. Let's see. Obviously I knew the song quite a bit better than I did before. What else can I say? The transition, normally I do a much better transition between the that part and the that part. There's a slight hesitation this time, not bad. Other things, the positions of the sounds. Initially learning the song, I had to look at the notation, then look at the stick, find the string, find the note. I'm doing a lot better now of just like a, as I say, and then I screwed up. But generally speaking, I'm doing a lot better at being able to transition without looking between the notes. So I can look at the notation and you know, it's not only that I get it right, it's if I get it wrong, I know which string I'm on, so I can move up and I have a better idea of where I'm going. So that made learning it a lot smoother, and I hope I can get better proficiency in that, because that seemed like a really important skill. No metronome. I started out, and actually I learned this last week, I started out with the metronome, but I pretty quickly learned that it was taking too much brain power for me to keep exactly in time with the metronome. So ultimately, I use it to start out to get a sense of the time, but then I shut it off and I just go with it, because I was drifting. Not much, but enough that, you know, after a couple measures, it sounded bad with the metronome keeping a different time, and I either had to expend a lot of brain power to pull myself back, or it sounded really bad as it drifted farther and farther, and I just ended up losing time because I lost concentration between my own time and the metronome. So eventually it's something I'm going to have to develop, but I think for right now it's important that I be close, but it doesn't have to be exact. Keeping a consistent time is probably more important than keeping the exact time, especially because, after all, songs can be played at different beats per minute. And even if a song specifies it, you ask any ska musician, and they'll tell you you don't have to stick to that. Or punk, I suppose, too. So that's pretty much it. I think, yeah. Till next week, I will see you then.